Congratulations on purchasing a Victor WD60 wet vacuum. In this video we are going to show you how to use the machine safely and some basic techniques to improve productivity and results. It is important that any wet spill is identified quickly and warning signs placed around it to prevent any trips or falls. The spill also needs to be picked up quickly before it starts to dry on its own. This could cause permanent damage to the floor by staining or causing structural damage to the floor covering itself. Make the area safe by identifying the spillage with warning signs. These should be placed around the wet floor or at the entrance points to the wet floor surface. Most floor signs have a message on each side. Caution, wet floor should be visible to the public. The first check for electrical safety is to see that the PA test sticker is in date. It should be found on the power head. If there is not a valid PAT sticker on the machine, do not use it and report to your supervisor. Carry out a visual check of the machine, make sure there is no damage. Check the wheels, tub and dump hose for problems. If the machine is damaged, do not use it and report to your supervisor, who can arrange a repair. Before and after use, it is vital to check the cable. Using a cloth to clean the cable as you go, carefully check it for damage. Run the cable through your fingers to check for signs of damage. Finally, check the plug has a fuse and the pins are straight. If you find any damage to the cable, do not use the machine and report it to your supervisor. Internal wires visible through the outer casing of the cable are extremely dangerous. Do not use a machine with damage to the cable. Report it to your supervisor. Check that the plug has a fuse and does not smell of burning. Now check that the pins are straight. If the pins are bent, do not use the machine. Remember, the WD60 is often used where there is water. Any damage to the cable could be deadly. If you are using the machine for dry use, remember to check the filter. To get to the filter, you must remove the power head. The filter can then be lifted out and checked for dampness and damage. The WD60 is a bagless machine, and so any holes in the filter could cause damage to the motors. Do not fit the filter if you are using the machine to pick up water. Check the power head and float cage for damage. Remember to use gloves for this. There may be some chemical residue present on the float cage. Finally, check the float mechanism moves freely. The float mechanism lets you know when the machine is full by changing the sound of the vacuum. If the float is not moving, do not use the machine, as it may overfill and cause damage to the motors. Finally, check the tank. It should be clean and free from residue. Any residue from previous cleans should be removed, as it may be dangerous when combined with the solution you are about to pick up. Finally, check the hoses and down tubes for blockage. Remove the down tube from the hose and drop a coin through the tube. If the coin falls through the tube, it is clear. Repeat the process with the hose, then remove any blockages if necessary. Lastly, check the squeegee blades are clean and there are no tears in them that could cause streaks. The machine can now be reassembled for cleaning. Refit the filter if dry cleaning and then replace the power head. Securely fasten the power head using the clips on the side of the tub. Click the hose into the inlet. Fit the required tool. Make sure that your hands are dry before plugging the machine into the socket. Insert the RCD plug into the socket, then the plug to the machine. Finally, switch on the power and activate the RCD plug. You can now turn on the machine and start cleaning. The WD60 has two vacuum motors. You can use one or both depending on your needs. To activate one or both of them, just press the switches on the power head. Be careful not to walk or stand on the wet areas of the floor. Place the machine behind the line of work. Ensure that the cable is behind the area of work and on a dry area. Use systematic overlapping passes to collect the wet spill. This is the correct setup position and operating procedure. Notice that his feet are on a dry area behind the area of work. The cable and the machine are out of the way behind the area of work. Pickup is always started on a dry area and moving to the wet area. Once the task is complete, you can switch off the machine. Then, making sure that your hands are dry, switch off the power at the socket and remove the plug. When you are happy that the floor is dry and the area is safe, then you can remove the warning signs. To empty the machine, remove the dump hose from the clip. Make sure that you remove the hose cap with the hose pointing upwards. Otherwise, when you take off the cap, the recovered solution will spill all over your hands. Always dispose of the recovered material in your designated disposal point. Make sure that you fit the dust filter. Using the WD60 for dry use, it is important to use the correct dry tool. So swap the squeegee tool for the brush or crevice tool depending on your requirement. For this job we're going to use the brush tool. As with a wet spill, ensure that the machine and cable are behind the work area. Make sure that you are not standing in the dirty area. And use overlapping passes to pick up the dry soil. Please note that if you are dealing with large debris, you may need to make several passes to collect it all. Once you're satisfied that the area is clean and safe, you can remove the warning signs. To empty the machine when dry, lift off the power head and the filter. And pour the contents into your designated disposal point. Take care lifting the machine if its contents are heavy. It may require 2 people. Recheck the cable after use, wiping clean with a cloth as you go. After use, always clean the tank to prevent chemical residue build-up. Clean the power head and float cage. Wipe clean the squeegee blades to prevent smears and streaks. The machine can then be stored in your designated location. Thank you for watching this film. If you have a problem with the machine you cannot solve, please call the Victor Service Department on 0121 765 2353.